This program is offered by
Dear friends of True Hunters .tv, greetings from Tuscany, Italy, and welcome back to our very special hunting field test dedicated to one of the most interesting slug commercial cartridge on the market today, the brand new Baschieri and Pellagri Red Shock coated 12 gauge. During the last wild boar hunting season, I have had the opportunity to test it directly on the field on drive hunting. The Big Game Shock Slug series by Baschieri and Pellagri includes now 5 new commercial ammunition 12 gauge. The classic Big Game 2 inches and a quarter slug, the Thrill Shock and the Black Shock coated, both 2 inches and a quarter, and both propelling a same 1-ounce slug, but with a different surface coating and an unlike powder charge, and a 3 inches Magnum black coated shock 1 1/4 ounce slug cartridge. As a matter of fact, the first 2 cartridges, even if developed on the same projectile concept, which is an hybrid between the Big Game slug and the Gualandi slug, they have a different muzzle velocity in order to tailor them for 2 specific hunting purposes. The Thrill Shock is accurate and it is faster, so it carries more energy, while the black coated shock is even more accurate at longer distances and let cleaner your barrel. More, there are 3 other commercial cartridges based upon the Shock series, the 12 gauge, the 16 gauge, and the 410 gauge. Of the former, I have already made an hunting field test that you can watch free of charge on our web TV channel cacciatoriveri.tv. Plus, with its 12 gauge Magnum version of the black coated shock concept, the Italian manufacturer proposes a 3 inches 1 1/4 ounce slug that represent a step ahead in terms of energy level, wounding and stopping power. It is clear that this cartridge can be fired only in 12 gauge Magnum or 3 inches chambers. But now let's go directly to this brand new Red Shock coated cartridge. First of all, as far as it concerns its performance, this new product stays exactly in the middle between the various standard 70mm or 2 inches and a quarter chambering Big Game ammunition and the more powerful Magnum version, which is the reason why most of the manufacturers develop Magnum or semi-Magnum slug cartridges. Although they are more powerful, on the contrary, they normally result less accurate and produce more recoil and muzzle jam than the standard counterparts. The main reasons are 2. The first one regards the US market that from many decades now demands this kind of charges for bear, mountain lion, deer and wild boar hunting, especially in those states in which rifles are strictly forbidden. The second reason is to offer a cartridge capable of allowing any hunter to drop down quickly any game, dangerous and non-dangerous, wounded or not, at short or at very short distance with a smoothbore shotgun. Regarding these assumptions, We all know that many hunting guides in America and Africa still use 12-gauge Magnum pump guns to track down wounded, dangerous game, especially in thick bush and vegetation where a Magnum slug is just ideal for this kind of purpose. These are the technical and logistical reasons that pushed Baschieri and Pellagri in developing a 12-gauge 2 1/4 inches cartridge, but with a Magnum attitude. They have done it with the two main targets on mind. The first one was to obtain the maximum possible level of energy at the muzzle with the standard 70mm 2 1/4 shell case, so they developed a 1 1/4 ounce slug propelled at the dramatic 1500 FPS speed at the muzzle. The second one was to effectively improve the accuracy of their new cartridge, so they decided to base this oversized slug upon the black-coated Magnum Thrill Shock projectile, which boasts a special and exclusive surface coating to reduce friction with the barrel of the gun. More, the special red-colored coating leaves the barrel perfectly clean even after dozens of shots. The new Baschieri and Pellagri red-coated Shock 12-gauge slug cartridge leaves the muzzle at almost 1500 FPS, producing an astonishing 3,700 foot-pounds of energy thanks to the use of its F2 X32 powder. With such numbers, the new red-coated Shock slug fits perfectly the most demanding big game hunter. This is a cartridge that offers the maximum level of stopping power and penetration at longer distances with an excellent level of accuracy. Let's say at the same level of a standard Magnum slug. Baschieri and Pellagri has developed a special wad for this slug in order to offer a perfect level of stabilization to its projectiles. Plus, the lateral surface boasts 12 stabilizer wings instead 18 as in the big game standard cartridge in order to offer more accuracy and less pressure levels. The shell is Gordon type. It is commercialized in the market in 12 cartridges packages. Starting my field test, I decided to take confidence with this cartridge at the 50 yards range, firing it with two of the most used smoothbore gun for wild boar drive hunting, the Benelli M2 Camo Slug and the super classic Remington 870 Deer Pump Action Slug gun. The reason why I decided to test this cartridge with two different barrels is because I needed to verify its accuracy level performance with the two standard wild boar guns, in particular with two guns that boast the widest commercial diffusion, the Benelli M2 Slug and the Remington 870 Deer gun, which mount 20 inches barrel with the front and rear sights. Above all, I was curious to verify the groups produced with this cartridge by two barrels having completely different ballistic features. I think that this is the only way to give you the most reliable parameters and information about the real performance of this product. As a matter of fact, there is a lot of expectation for this new cartridge in consideration of the very large commercial success of the other 12-gauge big game cartridges of Baschieri and Pellagri. Concerning the zeroing of the two guns, I decided to keep the point of impact of the projectile just on top of the front sight, so perfectly aligned with the two fiber optics dots of the rear sight, avoiding the method of completely covering the target with the front sight, since I believe this is the most accurate method of acquiring a fast-moving target such as running wild boar. As already mentioned, I opted for a 50-yard distance zeroing for both guns in order to uniform the judgment of their respective level of accuracy. So now let's go together at the shooting range, and then soon after the grouping and the zeroing, we will go directly on the wild boar hunting field. Dear True Hunter friends, welcome to the tunnel, the shooting range with this new Baschieri Pellagri Red Shock coated slug. As I have mentioned in studio, I will use two different slug guns for this test, the Remington 870 and a Benelli M1 Camo. I will shoot a series of 4 shots. Okay, so I will base my judgment of the performance of this cartridge through a group of 4 shots. I will shoot these 4 shots in rapid sequence, so to simulate a common hunting situation. And I'm using this tunnel, and I will shoot from 35 meters of distance. And I want to point out a fact, an important, very important fact. The 2 slug guns has been already zeroed with different ammunition. The Remington 870 has been pre-zeroed with a Baschieri Pellagri Black Shock Magnum coated slug cartridge at 35 meters. And the other one, the Benelli, has been zeroed with a Baschieri Pellagri big game standard. In this way, I will have the opportunity to see and verify the migration of the group with this ammunition against the other 2 ammunition by Baschieri and Pellagri, and also to verify the type of and the nature of the group of this new cartridge. So now let's go shooting. Okay guys, I'm very satisfied. Let's start with the group that I have done with the Remington 870 pump gun. Before using and talking about the group, I want to point out a fact. It is very difficult to be very accurate with a pump slug gun, especially with Magnum cartridges, if you do not shoot standing up without a rest. In this case, since I had to shoot with the Benelli on a rest, I had to shoot with the Remington with the same rest in order to have not a silly comparison. I'm telling you this because normally when you put the gun on the fixed rest, at the moment of the shot, there are some bad components and destabilization of the shooting. But I thought this. Look at this. These are 4 shots. Okay, this is a group of 4 shots. It's a high. The barycentrum of the group is higher comparing to the other cartridge by Baschieri and Pellagri. But this is very normal. It's a norm. It's normally because this is a faster cartridge than the other one, so it tends to be a little bit higher. Okay, and this is a very good group for hunting wild boar on drive is a fantastic group, I must say. But telling about the fantastic things and fantastic performance, let's go and see what's happened with the semi-automatic Benelli gun. As you can see, these are just the first 3 shots, okay? And this is the 4th, and to tell you the truth, this was the 8th shots that I took in rapid sequence. And to tell you the truth, the report of the recoil of the 2 guns was not very high, but the 8th shot it was just flight from without any accuracy. So this is my fault. This is my plain fault. But when I have shot the 3 shots in rapid sequence, this was the result, and this is a fantastic result. And it is not only fantastic because it's a very tight group, but also because it is just 1 inch higher than compared to the Baschieri Pellagri big game standard cartridge. They have practically the same point of impact. This is a little bit higher because it's faster, even if it's heavier, the slug, but it's a little bit faster. So this is a great result, and I'm very satisfied about this Italian fantastic product. And now, as you can imagine, we are going to hunt wild boar on the field. After a very encouraging session at the shooting field, now let's go hunting on drive for big wild boars. Today I have a post that is ideal for this kind of a test. I have a nice field of olive grove with some thick bush just at 500 yards. And today I will have to, since we have very few posts, I had to move from here to the thick bush, and then there is a small cut surrounded by a thick bush, so I will have to move during the day, and so I will have to move also the camp. So I can feel the dogs barking. So now I go to the post and I will wait the wild boars. Here it is. We have found this very big wild boar in a thick bush. It surprised me a lot because I have found some dogs that were barking in the right side, so I was following their barking, and then suddenly I have seen this animal in front of me. So it was listening something. He was exactly in the middle of a small road, and then I took my time and I shot him. I took it a little bit behind, so the animal went away, and but I have listened it. Inside the bush he was rolling and then silent, so I was sure that I have caught it correctly, and I have found it dead. And the most surprising thing for me was the fact that the animal was not caught in the right side in the vitals, but this ammunition did its job, even if the placement of the shot was not correct. So I'm very happy for that, and I think that Baschieri Pellagri will be very happy for this new big game ammunition, because it has a power shot, it has a power shock, very interesting. So, okay, let's proceed the test now. Ready to rumble again with the new Baschieri Pellagri big game cartridge with a Magnum slug. I am again in a olive grove surrounded by a thick bush, and here my left side, on the right side, I have a thick wood, and we have heard a lot of rumors about many wild boars around during the previous days, so I have great expectation to make a great test for this new slug. Okay, now I go to the post and we will wait. Not bad. It's a small one, but with fair, great hits for a small wild boar like this one. The performance of the new Baschieri Pellagri big game was fantastic, because as you have seen in the video, the animal comes from a very steep little canyon. I waited my time to shoot it when it was very close, and as you can see, the bleeding was unbelievable, and I'm very happy for this performance. And so let's proceed the test. This is my third wild boar with this new ammunition. There were two wild boars coming from my right side. I took my two shots at the first one, and I have caught it with the second one here, and then he collapsed. Then I have another shot with to another wild boar, but I just wounded it, and the other post finished it. It was in very bad shape, he told me, but anyway, this is significant for me, because it's a medium-sized wild boar caught at a relatively short distance. It was about 40 meters, and I'm very satisfied with this ammunition, because I had the opportunity to test it with 3 different sizes wild boar, and this is very important. Okay, now let's take some conclusion in the studio. Dear True Hunters friends, welcome back to our studio for a sum up of my hunting field experience. For what it concerns the accuracy compartment of this cartridge, it is necessary to make 2 preliminary statements. The first is that although its performance could vary upon the type of barrel used, it has demonstrated to be by far more accurate than most of the standard and Magnum slug cartridges I have tested in a recent past, especially at long distance, evident sign of a well-made and perfectly balanced cartridge. It is obvious that it is mandatory a pre-test at the shooting range in order to verify the compatibility between this cartridge and your own barrel. The second preliminary statement regards the fact that if your gun has been zeroed with a standard slug, the point of impact with this oversized slug can be located in a different spot of your target, so you will need to zero your gun again. As regards the efficiency and efficacy of this cartridge, I must point out 2 peculiar features that distinguish it from the big game model. This semi-magnum version boasts a higher level of penetration, and thanks to its great velocity at the muzzle, at short distance is able to properly expanding to release most of its energy to the game. For the hunter who stays at the post on a drive hunting, this is exactly what he is demanding for. it must be said that the recoil has been kept at a standard level, so it is not necessary to use the latest generation recoil pads or high-tech stocks. Another very important question regards the dog safety with the use of this cartridge at very short distance when the dogs are on the game. Since the full penetration of the game at very short distance is quite the norm with Magnum slug, it is highly recommended to pay the maximum attention when shooting to avoid hitting the dogs. After more than 40 cartridges fired on my Benelli M2 Camo slug gun, I checked the barrel and find it almost clean, and this is a very important feature, especially if you hunt in remote place for a long time. The new Baschieri and Pellagri Red Shock coated slug cartridge is a product really well made that will make dry hunters and big game hunters with the slug guns fully satisfied. Well guys, my test report has now come to the end. I really hope to have been able to give you some useful information through my personal experience in the hunting field. I wish you my really best and see you again at the next field on TrueHunters.tv.
This program was offered by